Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this little mini drone by Holy Stone. As you can see on the box, this is the HS420. Now this is, oftentimes these are referred to as a whoop because they're a little ducted fan style design on these. These little whoops often use a 3 or a 4 blade prop, and as you can see these use 3 blades. That ducted fan forces the air down and gives a really good lift for these little drones. So if I refer to it as a whoop, that's what I'm talking about. Now this does have a little FPV camera built in on the nose of this guy, so that you don't always see that on these little whoops. But this one does have that, which will be broadcast over the Wi-Fi feed back to the app. The app this guy runs is a Holy Stone FPV app. I'll link to a screenshot from the Android Play Store for this one. It's also available for iOS for your iPhone as well. And that allows you to do some other things, and then most importantly, just record that video feed if you want to actually see the video that you're filming as you're flying on this little guy. Now, I tried to fly this guy and do a review outside a while ago, and even though there's not a lot of wind, these little whoops are so lightweight that as soon as I take off, it's immediately drifting off the left, and I can't fly it outside. So keep that in mind. You've got to fly it on a calm day outside. Otherwise, these are really ideal for indoors. Now, I don't have a ton of space down here, but it should be enough that I can at least give you a test flight, but it won't be the best for video. But I will include the video I do film down here. At least indoors, I know I can fly it around and we can see how stable it is. With the wind outside, it's drifting. You can't tell, is that the wind, or does it need a gyro calibration, or does it need trimmed? So you keep that in mind when you're flying these guys outside. Now, you get 3 batteries with this. And these are little 1S LiPos. I'll show you the other 2 in here, and I got the 3rd one installed on the bottom of the drone. They all come in the packaging when you buy them. And they are 1S, as I said, and I think they were 300 milliamp hour. You're not probably going to see that in my head cam. But yeah, these ought to get a decent flight time, being considered how lightweight this little drone is. But again, I've only had it up in the air for a moment as I was trying to fly it outside, so I haven't had a full flight in. So I don't know how long this guy flies. It does have a little LED light here on the on and off button on the back, but that's the only LED button that I actually noticed on this guy. So this ought to be a fun little flyer. It comes with 2 chargers for the 3 batteries, so it only has 2, but you charge all those up, you're gonna get a lot of flight time. I just recommend you get a little break in between flights so that your motors can cool down. And you do have a full set of props, a prop removal tool in here, and a Phillips screwdriver for doing any kind of repairs to the drone. And here is the controller. This controller is kind of unique looking, but it ought to get the job done. And this dial on top is fake, or it's just locked in place. It doesn't do anything on this particular model. You do have a high and a low switch here. This is your auto takeoff and your auto landing button. That'll fire up the props. I believe if you just give it throttle, it'll also go. You don't have to unlock them. And a long press on this will do emergency motor kill. This is your headless mode, and a long press to go into a headless mode, and a long press to go into your trimming mode. If you can press it in, it goes to trimming. Then you can trim whichever direction with the sticks you need to go to stop the drone from drifting. It's a bit odd. I prefer to have the little little tabs that you can use on these type of deals. And up here is your photo and your video. A quick press will take a photo within the app. A long press will start recording the video to the app. Again, it's just over your Wi-Fi feed. There's no local micro SD storage on the drone, so you're not going to be able to record anything locally. It's all going to be over the Wi-Fi feed. And I don't know if I mentioned this a while ago, it's a low and high speed switch in a minute. I think I said that already. And over here is like an auto yaw. If you do a quick press, the drone should spin in place, and it probably be faster spin than if you just yaw it on your own. Sometimes it's the same. That's a gimmick I've seen on a few drones. They've done it more recently. It's just a neat little thing they add. And then a long press will go into a circle mode, which is probably like a funnel. We'll test that out and see how that works. And then if you want to do 360 flips, you hit the press in on the right stick. Instruction manual doesn't show you that under the diagram for the controls. It actually shows it on a separate page. You press in, and then it should go into flipping mode, so it's probably going to beep, and then you press the direction you want to flip, and it'll flip. Now it says you need to be 10 feet off the ground. We'll test that because that is going to be higher than my ceiling down here. So hopefully, I don't think it's going to really necessarily know. They're probably just telling you that so you have enough clearance. We'll test it out. If for some reason I'm unable to flip it down here, it's because of that requirement. We'll just test it out. I've always been able to in the past on these little mini drones. So that should be the controls on this guy. It says the gyro calibration is both sticks down to the right, but I've had trouble getting that to work. The red light in the back will flash. I got to do it one time. So hopefully when you start these drones up, they usually do a gyro calibration when you fire them up. So you shouldn't have to really do that unless you crash. A bad crash can sometimes knock these gyros out of whack, and then you want to do that gyro calibration on this guy. And again, that app is the Holy Stone FPV app you're going to use for this guy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the video, get connected to the drone's Wi-Fi feed, to the app, and to the controller. And one thing you'd be mindful of, that app, when you first open the Holy Stone FPV app, it's probably going to ask you to register if you don't, or if you already have an account, to sign in. A bit annoying. Didn't take me long, but to get in to use the app and the features, you have to be registered with Holy Stone, which I don't like that at all. But again, what are you going to do? You got to do it. And on my Pixel phone that I'm using here, it asks me to access the storage for permissions to be able to save the video. So at least on stock Android, you're going to have to go in and give it permission so that it knows that it can save video to your phone. Otherwise, the app will just refuse and tell you, it tells you to go to that spot in your phone. And what you do is you just go to the photo, the media section, and give it permissions to be able to access your photo and video in there. So I already did that, so we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now, and then we'll get this all connected and get this guy up in the air so you guys can see. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I got the app connected to the Wi-Fi feed and the controller connected as well. As you can see there, move it around, we'll see the video feed on this guy. Now I did get a little bit of a test flight in here a moment ago inside now, because obviously, like I said, I couldn't get this guy to fly outside because it's too windy today. So when I did test it, it does say you need to be 10 feet up to do 360 flips, and my ceiling is not that high, so I can't get it to do 360 flips inside. So we're not going to be able to test that inside, so I apologize about that, but there's nothing I can do about that. So let's go ahead and back up here. You can see that rear LED, that red one, and let's do the gyro calibration. That's both sticks down to the right, and kind of move the sticks a little until you find the spot. It's kind of finicky. I'm having trouble now getting it. There we go. You gotta get it just in the right spot for it to do that gyro calibration. So you may have to move the sticks a little bit. And let's go ahead and start recording video. A long press on the upper left button, and we got the blue and now a red flashing light, and we should be recording. Let's do that auto takeoff. I know this controller is going to be hard to see in the shadows back here. And it shouldn't drift too much. It tends to drift a little to the left, so it does need a little bit of trimming. That is the highest rate. You can see the yaw. I'm doing a manual funnel there. And go to the low rate, you can see the yaw is slower. Or the high rate is faster. I'm going to keep it in the highest rate. I'll show you guys that 360 flip doesn't want to work in here. It tries to go and then it just won't let you. That's that pressing in on the right stick. And then, see, it just doesn't do anything. That's, oop, oh, I crashed into the ceiling. That was my fault. One thing I'm noticing with this guy is some control lag. And that is not good, because it is, when you're giving it inputs on the sticks here, it just doesn't respond super quick. And I've seen that at times caused by the Wi-Fi interfering with the controls of the controller. It's rare, but I have seen it before. Let's try to do that gyro calibration again. If I could find the spot, there we go. After a bad crash, it's always a good idea to reset the gyro on this guy. Let's go ahead and get it back up in the air now. See if I can try to do that 360 flip again. Let's go and do another auto takeoff. You press in on that right stick, and oh, there it did do it. Oh my goodness. I've been trying to do those flips with this drone a while ago when it's testing, and it never did it. Now I was able to do it. Well, check that out. I gotta say, this drone is flaky. I tried to do that flip over and over and over, and it would beep, and then I tried to flip, and it just would do nothing. And that's why I said here at the beginning of this that it wouldn't do a 360 flip. I tried over and over and over. Let's try to do a forward, and now it's working. See, it says you need to be 10 feet, and I thought, well, how is it going to know that? That's just a safety precaution, and I was right. But as I give it these inputs, at times, not all the time, there's a lag, and that's one reason why I crashed into the ceiling, is it didn't go with my sticks command to go up, and then it all of a sudden did. I mean, it flies nice. Let's try that auto yaw, and now look how fast that is. Press it again to stop. And see, if I try to do that myself, I can't spin that quick. So that's a faster yaw. And you do have that white LEDs here in the front that I didn't mention. So that's your orientation, your white front and your red in the rear. Let's do that again. Let's see if I give it stick inputs. Will that cancel the yaw? Yeah. So you don't have to press the button again. You can just press any of the sticks and it'll cancel it. Now let's try that funnel. I think that's what it's going to be. It's a funnel, it's just going to go more in a big circle. That's a long press. Let's get that down a little bit. Yeah, it's a funnel. That's what I thought. If you don't know how to do funnels, then you can do this. You just give it a stick input and it stops. Let's do that one more time. Long press, and it's going to go into a funnel. And it will tend to drift a little bit as it's going in a funnel. But if you want to just do a funnel yourself, you're just going to do this. You're going to go like that. You give it yaw, and then you just give it a full pitch, and you're just spinning. It's very simple to do once you learn how. But if you're a new flyer, you might not know how to do that, and you might need to do the auto funnel. But yeah, right there I had some control lag. I gave it full pitch forward, and it just, you could see there was just a fraction of a second before it actually went. Overall, I mean, the drone flies good, but I'm not happy with it. The control lag is a bit of an issue, especially for indoor flying like this, where you're going to have to watch out for objects and walls. And the fact that the 360 flip didn't want to work, then it did work. The gyro calibration is a bit sensitive and doesn't always want to work right. Connecting to the Wi-Fi, it will sometimes fail multiple times. And now we're getting a low battery. Both of these, the first battery I flew with was fully charged, and I flew it for a second outside, brought it in here, tried a few tests as I was trying to film originally, and it went to low battery. I thought, well, maybe I grabbed the wrong battery. This is already dead, and we've barely even flown. This is a fresh battery, fully charged yesterday. This is a pitiful flight time. I don't have there's no timer on the app, but that's pathetic. That's a terrible flight time. I'm going to stop recording the video so that we get it saved. If you don't do that, you'll lose your video on all these Wi-Fi FPV feeds. They'll corrupt and you'll lose it. So make sure before you power the drone off that you record the video. But yeah, this is bad. Now it may fly a while here. Let's keep it in the air. But I've not even done any aggressive flying. But the combination of a crappy flight time, 360 flips not always wanting to work, Wi-Fi, the lag on the controls, and now it's going to go down and land. And the Wi-Fi not always wanting to connect on the first flight. I got to give a hard pass. I cannot recommend this little whoop. I'm disappointed. Let's go ahead and power it off because this beeping is going to drive you nuts. So make sure your video is saved if you want to save it before you do that. The combination of just this pitiful flight, I don't know what that flight time was. That wasn't good at all. I mean, these whoops don't usually get great flight time, but that seemed really pathetic. We'll have to see what that is when I actually get into the actual video. But bad flight time, laggy controls. Sometimes the Wi-Fi doesn't always connect on the first few tries in the app. And the 360 flips, I mean, I tried over and over in here. I pushed down the right stick, I give it input, it would go beep, 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 and then it would go up and then it just did nothing. Now I say, oh, it's not going to work. I take it up and then it does work. It makes me look ridiculous on top of it, but you know what? That's why we test these things, to let you guys know. If you're an honest reviewer, like I try to be, you're going to let people know whether this drone is something you should invest in or not. Thankfully, these are not very expensive. And if you did buy this, you certainly could return it with no hassles to Amazon, where Holy Stone sells the majority of their drones. But I gotta say, pass. If you're looking at this, deciding whether you want to buy this little Whoop, maybe as something for yourself to fly inside, or a gift for your son or daughter, just to do something indoors during the upcoming winter months here in North America, I gotta say, pass. There's many other little Whoops out there. I don't remember the model number, but there's another little Holy Stone I reviewed about 2 years ago that's really, really good and is really popular. If I remember, I'll link to that. I just don't remember what that is. It was so long ago, but that would be a drone I would recommend, but I can't recommend this one. I'm really disappointed because Holy Stone usually makes good drones. This is maybe the second drone I've ever had from them that I couldn't recommend. The other was the HS420, the big GPS drone that gets the phantom controls and takes off. But this one here, I really thought this would be a winner. I mean, I am absolutely shocked because these little drones almost always fly good. But a combination of all the things I just mentioned, I gotta say, I just can't recommend this little guy. All right, guys, that wraps up the review of the Holy Stone HS420 Mini Drone Whoop. If you liked this video and appreciate the honesty, then click and give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, then give me a thumbs down. Be sure to leave any comments. If you have any questions about this drone, I'll try to answer them the best that I can. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. And while you're at it, also click the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.